Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namaste. Okay. Able to hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranamam.
Hare Krishna, pranam everyone.
Pranam. Pranam. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. We will continue to read from the Mood and Wisdom of Srila Prabhupada's book. So before starting to read, we'll pray Pranam Mudras. Om Agyanat Virantasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmi Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate. Is the recording going on?
Yes, Prabhuji, you've started the recording.
Okay. Om Agyanat Virantasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmi Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swami Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vrishthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Charya Shishunivadi. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivasati Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Kankarti Vacharam Shri Chaitanya Ishvara Guru Gaurachandra Radhikaya Tadane Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktaya Namaha Agishaya Sevaya Lakshmi Samakshasya Sasti Hare Samritam Simon Yanta Pravisham Vacharam Suttam Sanjeevi Yatila Shakti Shastri Janma Shramana Torari Pranam Nijaguru Harivanya Krishna Chintu Chintu Krishna Krishna Hananda Samsara Prabhupada Sukabdo Najin Samsa Vishwa Jaitu Kanso Hare Krishna. So we are reading from the part 2 section chapter. The section is unrestrainable ecstasy. In the book, it is page number 122. Okay. Okay. Unrestrainable ecstasy. Ecstatic symptoms are sometimes manifested internally and sometimes externally. The pure devotee always feels such symptomatic expressions within himself, but being afraid of outsiders, he does not generally manifest them externally. 491 reference, the Nectar of Devotion, chapter 28. When one is actually advanced in ecstatic love of Krishna, he does not try to advertise himself. Instead, he endeavors more and more to render service to the Lord. 492 reference, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 20, text 28. Although topmost devotees enjoy life with a thrill at every moment, the reference is C. Bhagavad Gita 18.76. Although topmost devotees enjoy life with a thrill at every moment, sometimes ecstatic emotions, in quote, are not visible even in the body of the first class devotee for certain circumstantial reasons, unquote. 494 reference, Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 3, text 24. While internalizing his transcendental emotions, Srila Prabhupada manifested the ecstasy of pure love of God in his ceaseless endeavors to spread Krishna consciousness and glorify Krishna. He referred to his purports as his, within quotes, personal ecstasies. Reference 495. Widely quoted by reputable devotees, but no specific recorded quote available. Indeed, for those who came to understand the science of devotion that he taught, his love for Krishna was apparent in everything that he did and said, even in seemingly minor traits, such as not wasting even a penny of Krishna's money. Yet he deliberately remained reserved, lest external displays of emotion be misunderstood or imitated and thus hinder his service of spreading Krishna consciousness. As one life member noted, Srila Prabhupada always had complete control over his emotions, which he used in the service of Krishna, and he would usually act reserved in public. He almost always in public seemed to be, in one sense, too restrained. But it wasn't, because he was acting very serious for a reason. He was never looking for any kind of adoration, like Lord Chaitanya said, that was completely absent in his personality. 496 reference, Nanda Kishore Das, Srila Prabhupada, Leelamrita interview. However, occasionally Srila Prabhupada was unable to contain his feelings and involuntarily revealed transcendental symptoms such as shedding tears or becoming stunned. A few instances are related below. In San Francisco in 1967, when Govinda Dasi inquired about Lord Chaitanya, asking, "Where is Krishna?" Hare Krishna. In San Francisco in 1967, when Govinda Dasi inquired about Lord Chaitanya, asking, in quote, "Where is Krishna?" and falling in the water, Srila Prabhupada proceeded to discuss feelings of separation in Krishna consciousness as experienced by Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and 6 Goswamis. Then Srila Prabhupada paused and uttered a thoughtful He remained silent. The devotees also remained silent, watching him. His hands were folded, his eyes closed, and he became overpowered by inner feelings of ecstasy. although the simple devotees present could not know what was happening, they could see him enter a deep inward state. They could feel the atmosphere transform into awesome devotional stillness. They kept their eyes fixed on him. A minute and a half passed. Srila Prabhupada uttered another thoughtful hmm and opened his eyes. They were filled with tears. He reached out and grasped his kartals, which rattled in his hand. But he moved no further. Again, he withdrew from external consciousness. Another minute of silence passed. The minute seemed externally calm, yet intense and long. Another minute passed. After almost 4 minutes, Srila Prabhupada cleared his throat and struck the kartals together. After about 10 minutes of kirtan, Srila Prabhupada left the room. The devotees all knew that their spiritual master had been intensely feeling separation from Krishna. They had no doubt that it was a deep ecstasy because just by being in his presence during that long and special stillness, they also had felt a glimmer of the same love for Krishna. 497 reference, Satsvarup Das Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Leela, chapter 24, New Jagannath. In the first ever Vaishnava songbook in English, Achyutananda Swami, commenting on the song Jai Radha Madhava, described Srila Prabhupada was very fond of this song and sang it just before his lectures. In Allahabad and Gorakhpur, Srila Prabhupada fell into a trance after singing the first two lines. And after some time, he came back into external consciousness and said, in quote, now just chant Hare Krishna. Unquote. Srila Prabhupada said this. Srila Prabhupada said that this song is, quote, a picture of Vrindavan. Everything is there. Srimati Radharani, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Yashoda, and all cowherd boys. Unquote. 498. Achyutananda Das, Songs of Vaishnava Acharyas. Similarly, at the installation of Sri Rukmini Dwarkanath, this is Dwarkanath or Dwarkanath? Okay. Dwarkanath in Los Angeles in 1969, 499 reference. Okay, yes. Referring to the small deities still present there, the larger Rukmini Dwarka, these deities were installed later. Yes. Srila Prabhupada had to cut his lecture short upon becoming overwhelmed by devotional ecstasy. The real thing is bhakti. What you can offer to Krishna. What you can offer to Krishna. I'll read from first. The real thing is bhakti. What you can offer to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. What you have got. What is your value? And what is the value of your things? It is nothing. Therefore, the real thing is bhaktya. Real thing is your feeling. Quote, Krishna, kindly take it. I have no qualification. I am most rotten, fallen, but is in the bracket, weeps. I have bought this thing for you. Please take. Unquote. This will be accepted. Don't be puffed up. Always be careful. You're dealing with Krishna. That is my request. Thank you very weeps. How many devotees have heard this particular lecture? Devotees have heard this particular lecture? Prabhupada speaking.
Yes, Prabhuji. A few days back, I saw a short video of this particular lecture.
Yeah, there is a whole lecture about this, and this one is there.
It's very touching.
Reference 500 lecture, 16th July 1969. During a morning lecture in Los Angeles in 1972, Srila Prabhupada was speaking in a composed manner about the nature of devotion when he cited the example of the gopis. Devotee means he does not ask anything from God. He simply wants to give. He is a devotee. Just like the gopis, they never asked anything from Krishna. 501 reference. Lecture 14th September 1970. Suddenly, Srila Prabhupada stopped, unable to continue. Regaining equilibrium, after a 15-second silence, he told the devotees, "Now chant," and ended the talk. Yes. Oh, the one which I'm going to read. Actually, this is what I was waiting for. There is Atlanta. There is Atlanta, that past time. On arrival of ISKCON's Atlanta Center in February 1975, Srila Prabhupada, gazing from his Vasasan at the presiding deities, Sri Gaurnitai, mentioned several other temples that he had just visited, then delighted the local devotees by stating, "So, I see your temple is the best." Devotees roar, "Jai, Haribol." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind. Parama Karuna, Pahundui Jana. Two lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are very kind. They have appeared just to reclaim the fallen souls of this age. So they are more kind than Krishna. Krishna he is also very kind. He comes to deliver. But Krishna demands that first of all, surrender. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even does not demand surrender. He is so kind. At this point, Srila Prabhupada's voice choked. So take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be happy. Thank you very much. This quote is from reference 502, lecture 28th February 1975. I had the privilege to go to ISKCON Atlanta and see the deities, Sri Gaurnitai. It is called as New Panihati Temple, the beautiful deities of Sri Gaurnitai. Having spoken for just 2 minutes, Srila Prabhupada, overwhelmed and unable to continue, retired to his quarters. Some of Srila Prabhupada's servants remarked, "We are so fortunate to witness this today because Prabhupada doesn't display such ecstasy very often." Unquote. Titiksha Devidasi, in a bond of love. Okay, I'm just reading. A few weeks later, lecturing in Mayapur to hundreds of devotees from all over the world, Srila Prabhupada again had to abruptly terminate his talk when struck with overpowering bliss. Provided you are serious, you can become fully Krishna conscious in this very life. You're all young men. You're not old man like me. I have no opportunity. Reference 504 lecture dated 6th April 1975. With these words, he suddenly felt silent. Finally, one of his devotees began chanting, "Hare Krishna." Srila Prabhupada returned to external consciousness, uttering, quote, "Hare Krishna." He told the devotees, quote, "Have kirtan," and went to his room. 505 reference. Satsvarup Das Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, Lilamrita, chapter 44, "Let there be a temple." Later that day, Brahmananda Swami asked Prabhupada if he remembered how during the lecture that morning he had gone into a deep silence. Srila Prabhupada replied shyly, almost embarrassedly, and said, "I do not do that very often." 506 reference. Satsvarup Das Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Nectar 1.6. Okay, I can use some. iPhone, Samsung, I don't know who are the devotees. Dheera Lalita Mataji. Is it possible to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. From
You have the book, or you can read from the screen.
Okay, I'll read from the screen, Prabhuji.
You don't have the book?
Right now not available, Prabhuji.
No, but
Actually,
you
I
have the book.
just came from traveling, Prabhuji. That's why.
Oh, you have the book in your house?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, no problem. Yes, you can read from the screen. I will turn the pages.
Almost embarrassedly from there.
No. You have to read slowly, clearly, and you have to mindful. You have to be mindful of comma, full stop, and how to read. Okay, and
Okay,
you have to
Prabhuji.
read from toward the end of this manifest process.
Okay, Prabhuji. Toward the end of his manifest pastimes in London in 1977, Prabhupada's pattern of behavior is different from previously. He has become almost continuously absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. Privately, I mean, whereas previously he was externally engaged in so many affairs and manifest ecstasies. His personal attendants are often in anxiety in case he becomes overpowered by these ecstatic moods. Upendra spoke of torrents of tears. Reference 507 Ranchor Das When the Sun Shines, page number 453. The slightest thing, hearing Krishna's name, seeing a picture of Krishna, meeting a devotee, could be prompt streams of tears. Reference 508. Uh,
The same
IDB.
book. IBIT means in the same book, page number 445. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, we have IBIT. It comes in continuation with the previous book which we have quoted. So here
Hmm.
is Ranchor Das when the sun shines. So when the same quote comes, then IBIT they write so that in the same book. That's what is the way to read. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
It was as if he was no longer had the strength to check
He
his
no
feelings.
longer. Mataji, he was nahi hai.
Sorry,
He
sorry.
no longer.
He no longer had the strength to check his feelings, and the merest mention of a fondly remembered name or the sight of a dear disciple was enough to bring forth his tears. Ref-
In
Page
the
number
same book.
442. Same book, 442. Page. Ranchor Das recall that very special period. Prabhupada was completely absorbed. The whole time when Prabhupada visited us at the manor, 5 refers to Bhaktivedanta manor. See.
At that time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Ribol.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, continue.
He was not really outwardly. He hasn't paying very much attention to the devotees, but he was actually displaying his real absorption in Krishna. Of course, all along Prabhupada had always been absorbed in thinking of Krishna, but very often he hadn't shown that. He would been outwardly engaging in so many activities for preaching Krishna consciousness. But that last visit, it seemed like Prabhupada was trying to show us that behind all those outward activities, there lay a very deep ecstatic absorption in Krishna. And he just wanted to show us that and show us what the foundation of Krishna consciousness really was. Just to think of Krishna and to chant Krishna's holy name. Reference 511. Ranchor Das, Srila Prabhupada lecture interview.
No. Srila Prabhupada Leela interview.
Sorry, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita interview. Up to the present, devotees can relish and be amazed as Srila Prabhupada's voice cracks in ecstasy in recording of his singing Seto Darpana Marjanam and Haraye Namah Krishna. Reference 512. See also showering bliss. Great among greats. Just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a living Bhagavatam, similarly, Srila Prabhupada is also a living Bhagavatam. I don't think Srila Prabhupada would mind us saying that he is the best representative of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he did something unprecedented. Every Acharya does something unique, and we can't say that one is better than the other. But at the same time, by the blessings of the previous acharyas, one may do something wonderful. And Srila Prabhupada certainly did something extraordinarily wonderful. Reference 513 from the lectures by Hari Sauri Dasa. Although, in one sense, all acharyas are equal, all being fully surrendered and highly exalted, pure devotees still is
Exalted.
quite
Highly
exalted.
exalted. Exalted.
Pure devotees
Yes, Mataji, read exalted.
exalted, highly exalted pure devotees. Still, it is quite apt to state that Srila Prabhupada has a singularly important position in the history of Vaishnavism, for it was he who was undeputed by
No,
Lord.
deputed. Not undeputed, deputed.
Sorry, for it was he who was deputed by Lord Chaitanya to spread his mission worldwide. It is because
Hare Krishna.
and worship throughout the world.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, your internet is getting disconnected again and again, I think. Hello?
Krishna.
The internet is getting disconnected. It's getting on and off. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Read Mataji. Screen is before you. You have to read. I don't have anything to do.
Oh, I have read till here, Prabhuji.
No,
Okay.
it is because of Srila Prabhupada that the previous acharyas are. You have not read
Okay.
that.
My voice didn't come. Sorry, Prabhuji. It is because of Srila Prabhupada that the previous acharyas are known and worshipped throughout the world. Srila Prabhupada glorified the parampara by bringing its teachings to the world, by bringing the mercy of the acharyas to the world. As George Harrison, an exceptional person in his own right, succinctly
Succinctly.
put it, because of him, the mantra has spread so far in the last 16 years, more than it had in the last 5 centuries. Reference 514. George Harrison quoted is chant and be happy. In chant and be. According to the logic Phalena Parichayate, judged by the result, often cited by Srila Prabhupada. How much a devotee has been favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be tested by the activities the devotee has performed. Reference 515. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 1st chapter, text number 9, purport. And and Srila Prabhupada's activities were certainly extraordinary. That even one conditioned soul can take to Shuddha Bhakti requires extraordinary mercy. That there can be a whole movement of pure devotees redeemed from the ranks of the conditioned souls seems wholly unlikely. But that is the mission of Lord Chaitanya and the Acharyas. That is the mission that Srila Prabhupada attempted and fulfilled. As George Harrison insightfully marveled, Srila Prabhupada has already had an amazing effect on the world. There is no way of measuring it. One day I just realized God, this man is amazing. He would sit up all nights translating Sanskrit into English, putting in glossaries, glossaries to make sure everyone understands it. And yet, he never came off as someone above you. He always had that childlike simplicity. And what's most amazing is the fact that he did all this translating in such a relatively short time, just a few years, and without having anything more than his own Krishna consciousness. He rounded up all these thousands of devotees, set the whole movement in motion, which become something as strong that it went on
So
even
strong, Mataji, which
sorry,
became something so strong.
which became something so strong that it went on even after he left, and it's still exulting, even
Escalating.
escalating even now, that an incredible rate at an incredible rate. It will go on and it will go on and on from the knowledge he gave. It can only grow and grow. The more people wake up spiritually, the more they will begin to realize the depth of what Prabhupada was saying and how much he gave. Reference 516. George Harrison quoted in Chant and Be Happy. Dr. Harvey Cox discerned that Srila Prabhupada was the same as his predecessor,
Predecessor.
predecessors, yet also unique. Srila Prabhupada was in one of the oldest religious traditions of the world, and very much went on the generations, centuries, and even millennia before him that seems to be gathered and focused in his life and teachings. In one sense, Srila Prabhupada was not at all original. He incarnates as ancient tradition, the ageless science of Bhakti Yoga, received by parampara, passed from one teacher to the next in a living chain from ancient times to the present. Srila Prabhupada is best understood as one particularly effective link in this chain. Srila Prabhupada is, of course, only one in thousands of teachers, but in another sense, he is one in a thousand, maybe one in a million. Reference 517, adapted from Harvey Cox forward to Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita Volume 1. And Sankarsana Dasa exulted, all glories unto you, the most potent spiritual master in the history of the universe. You stand unique among all acharyas. You have accomplished what no other acharya ever accomplished. You successfully distributed Krishna consciousness all over the world. Even Lord Chaitanya, who could easily have done this, did not do so. He wanted you, his dearmost devotee, to get this credit for having inundated the entire world with this amazing tidal wave of Krishna Bhakti. Reference 518. Shankarshanadasa, the Ultimate Self-Realization Course, VP offering.
Vyasa Puja offering.
Vyasa Puja offering 2007.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you very much. I'll let some of the devotees to read. Thank you. Oh. Any Prabhuji's over here? iPhone? Any Prabhuji here? Where is the iPhone? It's not there. It's not there. From his unparalleled achievements, it is clear that Srila Prabhupada occupies a matchless position in the history of Vaishnavism. Only he had sufficient faith in Lord Chaitanya's instructions, his spiritual master's order, and Krishna's holy name to seriously attempt spreading Krishna consciousness outside India. No doubt, many among his godbrothers were elevated in austerities, learning, commitment to bhajan, and strictness in observing rules, and had deep realizations and shastric insights. Yet, not one among them was even thinking about how to uplift the malachas of the West. Only Srila Prabhupada had the vision to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya to those who most needed it. Only Srila Prabhupada had the compassion and tolerance to do whatever was required to deliver these most fallen people. As if to eliminate for all time Srila Prabhupada's distinctive glories, Krishna placed him among the slovenly, sinful hippies. For others, it would have been impossible to endure living with such ignorant, uncultured, disturbing people. After imparting some initial training, Srila Prabhupada accepted these erstwhile malachas as Vaishnavas and happily took food cooked by them, quite unthinkable for any self-respecting Hindu. He was able to do all this because observably his, in quote, equanimity, tongue twister, compassion, kindness, and spiritual Shakti are uncommon even among exalted saints, unquote, 519. Pranada Devidasi in a ground of love. Shyamsundar Das relates the perspective of Pradyumna Das, who probably spent more personal time with Srila Prabhupada than any other devotee, traveling with him for years to edit and transcribe his books. For decades now, Pradyumna has worked for a UN-accredited organization based in New York City. His job is to go all over the world and interview spiritual leaders from every faith and disposition. Priests, rabbis, swamis, imams, lamas, witch doctors, sadhus, holy men of every stripe, you name it, he has met them. I said, quote, Pradyumna, you have met Dalai Lama, the popes and cardinals, yogis in Himalayan caves, every guru on the planet. How many Prabhupadas are out there? Unquote. Pradyumna is a sober person, an intellectual and professional skeptic. His response, quote, no one even comes close. 520. Shyamsundar Das chasing rhinos with the Swami volume 3, page 390. Even in comparison with iconic foundation heads of the major world religions, Srila Prabhupada stands out. Buddha, Abraham, Jesus, and others moved and worked among their own persons of similar upbringing, ideas, locality, customs, and expectations. Srila Prabhupada stood alone in that he spread his message amid people of radically different culture. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself had associates and helpers for spreading the Sankirtan movement. Sangha Pandastra Parshadam. 521 reference, Srimad Bhagavatam 11th Canto, Chapter 5, Text 32. But Srila Prabhupada went alone among persons who are almost completely unqualified as candidates for spiritual life. Most of Srila Prabhupada's disciples had no idea how to honor a sadhu, having been raised in societies that were far removed from Vedic culture. Societies that specifically promoted milk eating, illicit sex, gambling, and intoxication. Srila Prabhupada was continually beset by situations, objections, and personalities that previous luminaries in his tradition could hardly have imagined. He ministered to souls across 6 continents from all major cultural and ethnic backgrounds, and thus demonstrated how Krishna is all attractive and that devotion to him is universally applicable. Resolute amid all obstacles, Srila Prabhupada gradually managed to train many of his followers to such an extent that they are now widely accepted as elevated Vaishnavas and preachers qualified to impart Krishna consciousness to others. In this vein, Vaisheshika Das addressed Srila Prabhupada in a Vyasa Puja offering. You spoke to police chiefs, cardinals, reporters, musicians, businessmen, parents, poets, doctors, professors, students, derelicts, and dropouts, giving each the perfect answer, explanation, or insight to bring each one closer to Krishna. Okay. How many hundreds and thousands of questions did you answer? How many thousands of letters did you write? How many hundreds of thousands of miles did you travel? All while translating, writing, and publishing volumes of transcendental literature for the welfare of your disciples and the people of the world. Contemplating the sheer volume of your accomplishments, we must say that you are the greatest of all the Mahatma transcendentalists. You are Krishna's empowered agent who has come to this world to widely distribute the mercy of the Lord. 522 reference, Silicon Valley Vyasa Puja offering, 2005. Okay, I can request somebody to read. Okay. Ruchira Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Pranam Prabhuji.
Okay.
Okay. Bhurijana Das similarly expressed awe. Srila Prabhupada, your actions and accomplishments stagger my mind, for they appear impossible for even the most powerful persons of this world. You translated and wrote commentaries on the Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrit. You traveled worldwide and while doing so lectured twice each day, one each morning at the Srimad Bhagavatam and one each evening on the Bhagavad Gita. You
I'm saying once each morning on the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, once each morning on the Srimad Bhagavatam and once each evening on the Bhagavad Gita. You sought to challenge the under. One second, I'll read from the book. I'll read from the book.
Yeah,
You
better
sought
to
to
read.
challenge the underpinnings of contemporary atheism by establishing the Bhakti Vedanta Institute, and even during your morning health maintaining walks, you were preaching to your disciples and followers. At every opportunity, you criticized impersonalism, impersonalist, cheating spiritualists, and hypocrites, and you relished speaking to scholars, professors, and various dignitaries of limited knowledge. You wrote thousands of letters and personally counseled and guided numerous disciples, and you simultaneously managed ISKCON and trained your senior, more accomplished followers to lead, preach, and manage on your behalf. You struggled and forcefully fought to build great temples in Mumbai, Mayapur, and Vrindavan, pushed the publishing and distribution of your books, and dealt with managerial problems and disciples' personal issues as they arose, which they regularly did. In the midst of all this, you daily met with life members, guests, and disciples in your rooms, in whatever country those rooms were in.
Reference, please read from this.
Reference Bhurijana Das, Vyas Puja Offering 2018. Okay. Another phase of Srila Prabhupada
No,
being
you can
great.
read from the book, Mataji. Another facet.
Okay, sorry. Another facet of Srila Prabhupada being great among greats is that in many ways he gave new life, direction, and flavor to the Gaudiya Sampradaya. First and foremost, by establishing it outside Bharata. He also emphasized book distribution even above Harinam Sankirtan. Especially, initially, he made the precepts of Bhagavad Gita the core of his teaching and preaching, whereas previous Gaudiya Acharyas had focused on Srimad Bhagavatam. Reference reference 524. I taught Bhagavad Gita first, then Srimad Bhagavatam, conversation 13th July 1975. And presented those precepts in a very simple manner. He proposed to implement Varnashram Dharma in back to the land, no frills communities. And although the previous Vaishnavacharyas had largely restricted themselves in polemics in religion and philosophy, a major feature of Srila Prabhupada's mission was his exposing and denouncing more variegated forms of misinformation in fields such as science, politics, and finance. The title,
Yes,
should I continue?
yes, Mataji. You can
Okay.
complete
The
it
title.
and we'll stop it.
Yes, the title Prabhupada. The pure devotees whose only business is serving the Lord are honored by the names Prabhupada and Vishnupad, which indicate such devotees to be representatives of the lotus feet of the Lord. Reference 525 Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, 15th text 15 purport. The spiritual master is addressed as Prabhupada because he is a completely self-realized soul. The word pad means position, and Prabhupada indicates that he is given the position of Prabhu or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for he acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Reference 326 Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 23rd chapter, 18 text purport. The word Prabhupada is a term of the utmost reverence in Vedic religious circles, and it signifies a great saint even among saints. The word has two meanings. First, one at whose feet, Pada, there are many Prabhus, a term meaning master, which the disciples of a guru use in addressing each other. The second meaning is one who is always found at the lotus feet of Krishna, the Supreme Master. Reference 527, Prabhupada, Back to Godhead magazine, 23rd, 1969. Although many caste Goswamis go by the appellation Prabhupada, followers of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati reserve it for outstanding acharyas who have made monumental contribution of literature or preaching. The title Prabhupada is offered to a spiritual master, especially to a distinguished spiritual master such as Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada, or Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Reference 528, Chaitanya Charitamrit, Adi Leela, 10th chapter, text 7, purport. Thus, the term Prabhupada is meant for completely pure devotees who transparently represent the parampara and are as good as God, inasmuch as they totally understand, realize, and preach the mission of Krishna within this world. Reference 529. See also Appendix First, the Bhakti Vedanta title. Disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati almost unanimously considered sacrosanct that no one else after his departure should accept this title, although this is a mutual convention with no basis in Shastra or tradition. Several of Srila Prabhupada's god brothers were severely critical of his having done so. Srila Prabhupada told disciples how to respond. If anyone challenges you, why has your guru used the name Prabhupada? You should ask them, how many books have you printed? How many miles have you traveled? How many temples and devotees have you made? Ask them that. I should not say this, but I can honestly say that I have inherited the property of my Guru Maharaj. Reference 530, Tamal Krishna Goswami in Prabhupada Memories, Volume 16. This seems to be deceived from a less dramatic statement by Srila Prabhupada spoken in a conversation on 20th January 1976 in which Tamal Krishna Goswami was present. Whether you have got such buildings, whether you have got such books, whether you have got such disciples.
Yes, Mataji, still is there.
Okay. Whether you have traveled so or so, then what will they reply?
Okay, there's one more reference.
Reference 531 for further discussion of the title Prabhupada, see Chaitanya Charitamrit, Adi Leela, 10th,
Yes.
10th chapter, 73 text, purport.
Okay, we will continue tomorrow. Genuine Acharya, let's stop here for today. And we will meet tomorrow. I'll stop it here unless and until somebody has anything to ask. Nothing to ask. Okay, we will meet tomorrow. Till then, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada ki jai and His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj ki jai. अच्छा कृपतिरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Mataji, Ruchira Mataji, you have the book with you? No, you didn't.
Yes. Yes, yes. I have the book, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.